From the Journal of Jonathan Harker, 3rd of October.
I must do something, or go mad. I dare not stop to think about what has happened to poor, dear Mina. It is too horrible.
If I find in myself, and I shall watch keenly for it, if I find a sign that I may do harm to any that I love, I shall die.
But you would not kill yourself?
Yes, Dr. Van Helsing, I would, if there were no friend who loved me who would save me such a pain.
Oh, my child, you must not die, not by any hand, but least of all by your own, until the other who has fouled your sweet life is true dead. You must not die. To die and go we know not where. If he is still with the undead, your death would make you even as he is. No, you must struggle and strive to live till this great evil be past.
Very well. I promise you, my dear friend, that if God will let me live, I shall strive to do so till this horror pass away from me.
Ah, so good a lady that no tongue could ever pronounce dishonour of her. Today, then, is ours, and in it rests our hope. The Count, in all probability, does not know a power exists to us as can sterilize his lairs. Now we have discovered the disposition of the boxes. It may be that when we have been to the house in Piccadilly, we can track the very last of them. Until the sun sets tonight, the monster must retain whatever form he now has. So we have this day to hunt out all his lairs and sterilize them. So we drive him to bay in some place where the catching and destroying shall be sure. We go and search the house in Piccadilly and find out all his secrets. First, we go to Carfax and then to Piccadilly.
Then in God's name, let us go at once. We're losing time.
Madame Mina, to be sure you are safe and we are gone, I have prepared your chamber by the placing of things of which we know, so that he may not enter. Now, let me guard yourself. On your forehead, I touch this piece of sacred wafer in the name of the...
Oh, my poor darling. Look, it has burned the flesh as though it were a piece of white-hot metal.
Unclean. Unclean. Oh, I must bear this mark of shame on my forehead till the judgment day.
It may be you have to bear that mark till God himself see fit, as he most surely shall on the judgment day, to redress all the wrongs of the earth and of his children on it. And, my dear Madam Mina, may we who love you be there to see when that red scar, the sign of God's knowledge of what has been, shall pass away and leave your forehead as pure as the heart we know. We all pray for you, and you pray for us, for help and guidance in this terrible task which lies before us.
At Carfax, the great boxes looked just as we had seen them last. The Professor knew exactly what to do. The earth was sterilized and the lid screwed on again, so that to all appearance we left them as we had found them. Then to Piccadilly. Lord Godalming and Quincey Morris found a locksmith, and with a plausible tale of lost keys, they persuaded him to pick the lock and let us in. As the Professor so wisely remarked, this was better than breaking and entering.
If things are rightly done, no one will interfere. I have read of a gentleman who owned a so fine house in your London, and when he went for months of summer to Switzerland and lock up his house, some burglar came and broke window and back and got in. Then he went and made open the shutters in front and walk out and in through the door before the very eyes of the police. And then he have an auction in that house and advertise it and put up big notice. And when the day come, he sell off by a great auctioneer all the goods of that other man who owned them. Then he go to a builder, and he sell him that house, making an agreement that he pull it down and take all away within a certain time. And your police and other authority, they help him all they can. And when that owner come back from his holiday in Switzerland, he find only an empty hole where his house had been. This was all done en règle. And in our work, we shall be en règle too.
There you are, Governor. That was an easy one, that.
That's for your pains. And thank you, my good man.
Thank you, Governor.
Now let us get on with what we have to do.
place smells vile.
Ah, here are the boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ah, that is all. 8 boxes only out of the 9 we seek. Our work is not over till we find that missing box.
Here, these are the papers, I think. Yes. Title deeds to this house and... Wait. Yes. Deeds of the purchase of houses at Mile End and Bermondsey. And the keys are with them, too.
Good, good. Now, Lord Godalming and Quincy Morris will go quickly to those other houses and destroy the boxes there. God go with you. I will wait here with my good friends John and Jonathan, and we see what may happen. Ah, friends Arthur and Quincy, pray God you have done well.
It's all right. We found both places. 6 boxes in each, and we destroyed them all. But we must start off soon, for it won't do to leave Mrs. Harker alone after sunset.
But I don't understand why or how he was able to get to Mina.
You do not see how this monster has made use of the zoophagus patient Renfield to effect entry into friend Tron's house. Your vampire, though afterwards he can come when and how he will, must at the first make entry only when asked by an inmate. But quiet, he is here. Have all your arms. Be ready.
Now, you devil, now we have you trapped! You think to baffle me? You, with your pale faces all in a row like sheep in a butcher's, you shall be sorry yet, each one of you. You think you have left me without a place to rest, but I have more. My revenge has just begun. I spread it over centuries when time is on my side. Your girls that you all love are mine already, and through them you and others shall be mine. My creatures, to do my bidding and to be my jackals when I want to be fed.
Wait, my friends. We have scotched the snake, but he's not over. Though we have brave words, he fears us. We need not despair. There is but one more earth box, and when we find that, all may yet be well. We can do no more here, so let us get back to poor dear Madam Mina. We can at least protect her.
May God give him into my hand, just long enough to destroy that earthly life of him which we are aiming at. If beyond it I could send his soul for ever and ever to burning hell, I would do it.
From the Journal of Jonathan Harker, 4th of October.
Mina has been sleeping, and sleeping without dreams, thank God. If ever there was a woman who was all perfection, that one is my poor, wronged darling. Surely God will not permit the world to be the poorer by the loss of such a creature. That is hope to me. We are all drifting reefwards, and faith is our only anchor. One earth box remaining, but the Count alone knows where it is. If he chooses to lie hidden, he may baffle us for years. And in the meantime, the thought is too horrible.
Jonathan? Oh, Jonathan.
Yes, my darling, it's all right. I'm here.
Where is the Professor?
Keeping watch in the corridor outside our room.
Go and call him. I want to see him at once.
Professor? Professor, Mina wants to see you.
Ah, my dear Madam Mina, what am I to do for you at this hour?
I want you to hypnotize me. The idea must have come to me in the night without my knowing it. I want you to hypnotize me before the dawn, for I feel that then I can speak and speak freely. Be quick, for time is short.
Ah, very well, very well. Now, sit up in bed and watch my hand. Relax and watch my hand. So. Now, where are you?
I do not know. It's all strange to me.
What do you see?
Nothing. It's all dark.
What do you hear?
A lap lapping of water. I can hear little waves outside.
Then you are on a ship, hmm?
Oh, yes.
What else do you hear?
The sound of men stamping overhead as they run about. There's a creaking of a chain and a loud tinkle as the check of the capstan falls into the ratchet.
What are you doing?
I'm still. Oh, so still. It's like death.
Yes, now the sun has come up. Madam Mina, wake up. Open your eyes. See, it is light. Lie back now and rest.
Have I been talking in my sleep?
You have told us about a ship. That is where he is, I'm sure. You can see into his mind.
On a ship? Then there's no time to lose. Quickly, do something before it's too late, I beg you. Jonathan!
Stay, my friend. That ship, wherever it was weighing anchor whilst she spoke. There are many ships weighing anchor at the moment in your so great port of London. Which of them is it that you seek? God be thanked that we have once again a clue, though whither it may lead us, we know not. We can know now what was in the Count's mind when Jonathan's so fierce knife put him in the danger that even he dread. He meant escape. Hear me, escape. He saw that with but one earth-box left, and the pick-up men following him like dogs after a fox, this London was no place for him. He hath take his last earth-box on board a ship, and he leave the land. He thinks to escape, but no, we follow him. Tally-ho, as friend Arthur would say when he put on his red frock. Our old fox is wily, oh, so wily, and we must follow him with wile. I, too, am wily, and I think his mind very soon now. You know, to wake a wolf is as bad as to smell a fox. Now more than ever we must find him, even if we have to follow him to the jaws of hell.
Why?
Because he can live for centuries, and you are but mortal woman. Time is now to be dreaded, since once he put that mark on your throat.
Mina?
Jonathan, you are to stay with your dear Madam Mina. He, our enemy, have gone away. He have gone back to his castle in Transylvania. He prepared for this, and his last earth-box was ready to ship somewheres. He know his game here finish. Oh, he is clever. So he decide to go back home. Now, this battle is but begun. To get back, he must go by Danube mouth or by Black Sea. So, we make our search for ships going that way. Be of comfort till we return.
From the Journal of Mina Harker, 5th of October.
The certainty that the Count is out of the country gives me comfort. But there is yet the terrible mark on my forehead to remind me that he lives still. This afternoon, Dr. Van Helsing and the others came back from their search.
My dear Madam Mina, our enemy is indeed on the sea. We go to your lairs, where there are note of all ships that sail, however so small. And we find only one Black Sea-bound ship go out with the tide. She is the Tsarina Catherine, and she sailed from Doolittle's Wharf for Varna. So there we go quick, and hear of men in black with burning eyes, who come with big box on cart and pay Captain Well to take box on board. When the Tsarina Catherine sail, there is fog around it, and no sign of thin men anywhere. So they tell us. But we know he is there on sea, with fog at his command, and the box we seek is to be landed at Varna. It is there we must go, overland, to pursue the Count. The ship will take long, but we can travel quick and be there before it.
But is it really necessary to pursue the Count now?
Yes, it is necessary, for your sake in the first, and then for the sake of humanity. He have inflicted you in such wise that death shall make you like to him. With his brain, which have been growing for centuries, what more may he not do? This must not be. In the name of God, we must stop this monster that is of the devil.
Then promise me one thing. Promise that you will not tell me anything of the plans you make against the Count, so long as this scar is on me here. If I can tell, when Dr. Van Helsing hypnotizes me, what the Count is seeing and hearing, is it not possible that he should enter my mind and discover what I know? Oh, So promise me you will tell me nothing.
We promise.
Very well, sir.
And you must take me with you. I am safer with you, and since you can hypnotize me, I can tell you things which may be of service.
Madam Mina, you are, as always, most wise. You shall with us come, and together we shall do that which we go forth to achieve. Come, my friends, the game's afoot.
When I see the box, I shall open it and destroy the monster, though there were 1,000 men looking on and I to be wiped out for it the next moment.
Brave boy. Quincy is all man. God bless him for it. Believe me, none of us shall lag behind you.
From the Journal of Dr. Seward, 11th of October.
We have come to understand that sunrise and sunset are to Mrs. Harker times of peculiar freedom when her old self can be manifested without the influence of any controlling force. But tonight, when we met, she was somewhat constrained and bore all the signs of an internal struggle. I asked Dr. Van Helsing what he thought this might mean.
Our poor dear Madam Mina is changing. With the sad experience of Miss Lucy, we must this time be warned before things go too far. And I can see the characteristics of the vampire coming in her face. Her teeth are some sharper, and at times her eyes are more hard. Oh, John, my friend, we are in awful straits. I fear as I never feared before. We can only trust the good God. But silence, here she comes, and Jonathan too.
My dear, dear friends, Professor Van Helsing, Dr. Seward, Quincy, Arthur. We are all here together in freedom for perhaps the last time. In the morning we go out on our task, and God alone knows what may be in store for any of us. I know that you will do everything that brave men can do for a poor, weak woman whose soul perhaps is lost.
Dear Mina, don't say that.
Well, no, perhaps not lost yet. But you know as well as I do that my soul is at stake. There is a poison in my blood, in my soul, which may destroy me, unless some relief comes to us. I know that each of you will give your lives if necessary. Your lives are God's, and you can give them back to him. But you must remember that I am not as you are. What will you give me?
Mina, what do you mean?
You must promise me, one and all, even you, my beloved husband, that should the time come, you will kill me.
What is that time?
When you shall be convinced that I am so changed that it is better that I die, that I may live. When I am thus dead in the flesh, then you will, without a moment's delay, drive a stake through me and cut off my head, and do whatever else may be wanting to give me rest.
I swear to you, by all I hold sacred and dear, that should that time ever come, I shall not flinch from the duty you have set us. I promise that I shall make all certain.
Quincy, my true friend.
I swear the same, my dear Madam Mina.
And so do I.
And I too.
And must I make such a promise too, my dear wife?
You too, my dearest. You are nearest and dearest, and all the world to me. Our souls are knit into one for all life and all time.
Come, swear.
You have my promise, my dearest.
And if it is to be that I must meet death, let it be at the hand of him that loves me best. Dr. Van Helsing, I have not forgotten your mercy in poor Lucy's case, to him who had the best right to give her peace. If that time come, I look to you to make it the happy memory of my husband's life, that it was his loving hand which set me free.
Again, I swear.
And now a word of warning, which you must never forget. If that time come, then you must act quickly, for at such a time remember that I myself shall be leagued with your enemy against you.
From the Journal of Jonathan Harker, 15th of October, Varna.
We got here about 5 o'clock by the Orient Express from Paris, travelling night and day. Lord Godalming has gone to the consulate to see if there is any telegram for him with news of the whereabouts of the ship, the Tsarina Catherine. Thank God Mina is well, and looks to be getting stronger. Before sunrise and sunset, she is very wakeful and alert, and it has become a habit for Van Helsing to hypnotize her at these times. The questions and answers are always the same.
What can you see?
Nothing. All is dark.
What can you hear?
The waves lapping against the ship and the water rushing by.
Telegram from Rufus Smith, Lloyd's, London, to Lord Godalming, care of Her Britannic Majesty's Vice-Consul, Varna, 24th of October. Tsarina Catherine reported this morning from the Dardanelles. From the Diary of Dr. Seward, 27th of October.
Most strange. 3 days and no news of the ship we wait for. She ought to be here by now. She may be lying by at times for fog, as some of the local steamers have reported patches of fog both to the north and south of the port. But she is still journeying somewhere, we know, for Mrs. Harker's hypnotic reports at sunrise and sunset are still the same.
Lapping waves and rushing water. But the waves are very faint.
Telegram from Rufus Smith, London, to Lord Godalming, Varna, 28th of October. Tsarina Catherine reported entering Galatz at 1 o'clock today.
Galatz? Oh, unsavory news. But how may he escape? When does the next train start for Galatz?
At 6:30 tomorrow morning.
How on earth do you know that?
You forget that I'm a train fiend and I always make a study of timetables. I knew that if we had to go to the Castle Dracula, we should go by Galatz. So I learned the train times very carefully.
Wonderful woman you are, dear Madame Mina. Now, the Count sent his spirit to read your mind, and he learned that we are here, so he make his most effort to escape us. At present, he want not Madame Mina. He is sure she will come at his call, so for now he cut her off, out of his own power, you see. But he is criminal, and therefore he has not full man-brain. He flee over the sea to his home, as he flee many, many years ago over the Danube from Turkey land, leaving his men to be cut to pieces. Oh, he be of child brain in much.
Yes. Now he's intent on being safe, careless of all. So his own selfishness frees my soul somewhat of that terrible power he acquired over me on that dreadful night. Oh, thank God.
He has used your mind, and by it left us here in Varna, while his ship rushed through the fog to Galatz. He think he is free from us, and cut himself off from knowing your mind. So he think there can be no knowledge of him to you. There is where he fail. That terrible baptism of blood he gives you makes you free to go to him in spirit when the sun rise and set. At such times you go by my volition, not his. This he know not, and to guard himself have even cut himself off from knowledge of our where. But we can follow him, and we shall not flinch.
From the Diary of Dr. Seward, 28th of October, Varna.
Well, there was nothing for us to do but wait, with what patience we could muster, to resume our pursuit of Count Dracula by the morning train to Graz. This evening, before sunset as usual, Mrs. Harker prepared herself for her hypnotic effort. This time it required much longer and more strenuous effort by Professor Van Helsing before she sank into the trance.
What can you see? What can you hear? Answer me.
I can see nothing. We are still. There are no waves lapping, but only a steady swirl of water softly running against the hawser. I can hear men's voices calling near and far, and the roll and creak of oars in the rowlocks. There's a gleam of light somewhere.
Yes? What else? What else, Madame Mina?
Would none of you like a cup of tea? You must be tired. I'll go and see to it.
You see, my friends, he is close to land. He has left his earth chest, but he has yet to get on shore. In the night he may lie hidden somewhere, but if he is not carried on shore, or if the ship do not touch it, he cannot achieve the land. In such case he can, if it be the night, change his form and can jump or fly on shore as he did at Whitby. But if he escape not at night, we shall come on him in daytime, boxed up, and at our mercy. Ah, the day will end, and then the end is known.
29th of October. This morning the hypnotic stage was longer than before in coming, and the time for Mrs. Harker to answer so short.
All is dark. I hear lapping water, level with me, and the creaking as of wood on wood.
So, now we are travelling towards Galatz in an agony of expectation. Already we are 3 hours late. The hypnotic reports by Mrs. Harker become more and more enigmatical. 30th of October. We have reached Galatz, where our rooms had been ordered by telegraph. Knowing of the difficulty of procuring the hypnotic trance, Van Helsing began earlier than usual. But Mrs. Harker yielded with still greater difficulty only a minute before the sun rose.
What do you see? What do you hear? Quick, tell me now.
All is dark. Something is going out. I feel it pass me like a cold wind. Far off I can hear men talking in strange tongues, falling water, the howling of wolves. There's water swirling by level with my ears, and the creaking of wood on wood. There's another sound, a queer one, like...
Go on, speak, I command you.
Oh, Professor, why do you ask me to do what you know? I can't remember anything. I know nothing.
From the Journal of Jonathan Harker, 30th of October, Galatz.
Dr. Van Helsing, Dr. Seward and I this morning went on board the Tsarina Catherine, which lay at anchor out in the river harbour. There we saw the captain, Donaldson by name, who told us of his voyage.
Man, I never saw the like of that trip in all my life. Thick fog hung over us, and yet a tearing wind driving us all the road for the Thames mouth to the Black Sea. No canny it was. But there was uncanniness that voyage for the very start of it. Just when we was all set for to cast off for London, down the quay comes a man with a great big box to be put aboard at once, he tells us, for shipping to Galatz. He was a queer-looking old man, and I see the foreign deck hands cowering awa, putting out 12 fingers at him. Aye, to ward off the evil eye. Oh, Lord help us, I says, you poor superstitious Egypts. But I was wrong, sir. Deed wrong. Mr. Van Helsing, if ever devil's luggage was put aboard a man's ship, I tell you, it was yon big, long box.
Who came to take it away? Do you know the man? And where can we find him?
I can not, sir. Here's my receipts. Here's it. Emanuel Hildesheim, Bergenstrasse 16.
We found Hildesheim in his office, a Hebrew with a nose like a sheep.
Yes, I received a letter from a Mr. DeVille of London, instructing me to receive, if possible before sunrise, so as to avoid customs, a box which would arrive at Galatz in the Tsarina Catherine. I was to give this box in charge to one Petrov Skinsky, which I did. And that is all I know of the matter.
We then sought for Skinsky, but the landlord at his lodgings said that he had gone away. No one knew whither.
He returned his key by messenger and rent you in English money between 10 and 11 o'clock last night.
Come, quick! The body of Skinsky. It is found inside the churchyard of St. Peter. The throat, it is torn open, like as by some wild animal. This is work of a Slovak, I tell you.
As we came home, we could arrive at no definite conclusion. We were all convinced that the box was on its way by water to somewhere. But where that might be, we would have to discover. With heavy hearts, we came home to the hotel to Mina. One thing we decided, and that was to take Mina into our confidence again, and I was released from my promise to her. We got for her all the papers she had not seen, and in the evening, with all of us together, Mina presented her conclusions.
My belief is this. The Count has decided to get back to his castle by water, as the most safe and secret way, since he's confined between dawn and sunset, helpless in his wooden box. We know something of what he's doing. The box is on water, somewhere, moving along. He's murdered Skinsky in an attempt to cover his tracks. Now, look at the map. In my trance, you have noticed that I heard water swirling level with my ears and the creaking of wood. That means they are working against the stream. The river then could be either the Seret or the Pruth. Now, the Seret is joined by the Bistritza here, where it runs up round the Borgo Pass, and the loop it makes is as close as you can get by water to Dracula's castle.
Our dear Madam Mina is once more our teacher. Now we must plan what each and all shall do.
I shall get a steam launch and follow him.
And I'll go with horses on the bank in case he lands.
Well, let me go with Quincy. We do have Winchesters, and there may be wolves.
Friend Jonathan, you go with Lord Godalming in the so swift little steamboat. You are strong and can fight, and all energies may be needed at the last. I will take Madam Mina with me. Her hypnotic power will surely help.
Do as you will. We are in the hands of God.
From the Journal of Jonathan Harker, 1st of November.
We have now passed into the Bistritza, and some Slovaks on the way told us that earlier on a big boat passed them, going at more than usual speed with a double crew of oarsmen.
From the Diary of Dr. Seward, 2nd of November.
3 days on the road and no news. We must push on. Later we heard that the launch had been detained by an accident while trying to force her way up the rapids. She is off on the chase again, but more slowly. We must push on harder than ever. Our help may be wanted soon.
From the Journal of Abraham Van Helsing, 2nd of November.
It is night, and we have been all day long driving. The great spurs of the Carpathians are now gathering round us and towering in front. At dawn, I hypnotized Madam Mina.
Darkness, creaking wood, and roaring water.
So the river is changing as they ascend. We shall reach the Borgo Pass in daylight. Tomorrow the last of many battles we mean to fight. God grant that we may be guided aright. We are in his hands now.
Memorandum by Abraham Van Helsing, 4th of November.
It is morning and cold. Oh, cold. The sky is heavy and full of snow, which seems to have affected Madam Mina. She heavy of head all day, and sleeps. She even have lost her appetite. At sunset I try to hypnotize her, but with no effect. The power grows less each day. Yesterday, at the Borgo Pass, just before dawn, Madam Mina yielded herself, but more slow, to the hypnotic sleep.
Darkness, and the swirling of water.
Then she wake, bright and radiant, and we go on. We are going up and up, and all is so wild and rocky, as though it were the end of the world. Madam Mina still sleep, and she look more healthy and more redder than before, and I like it not. Oh, I am afraid, but I must go on my way. The stake we play for is life and death, or more than these. 5th of November. All yesterday we travel, moving into more wild and desert land. Madam Mina still sleep. I could not waken her even for food. I began to fear that the fatal spell of the place was upon her, tainted as she is with that vampire baptism. As the sun go down, we came near the top of a steep rising hill, on summit of which was such a castle as Jonathan tell of in his diary. So I feed the horses, and I make a fire, and near it I have Madam Mina sit comfortable. Now she wake. She would not eat, but I myself eat, for I must be strong for all. Then, with a fear on me of what might be, I drew a ring so big for her comfort round where Madam Mina sat. And over the ring I passed some of the wafer, and I broke it so fine that all was well guarded. She sat still all the time, so still as one dead, and she grew whiter and ever whiter till the snow was not more pale, and no word she said. Presently the horses began to scream, and I had to go to them and quiet them. Then all was grim silence, and the snowflakes and the mist began to wheel and circle around, till I got a glimpse of those weird women that Jonathan saw in the room when they would have kissed his throat. The horses cowered as if in terror of the worst, and I began to fear for my dear Madam Mina. I was going to step to the fire to replenish it.
No, no. Do not go outside the circle. Here you are safe.
Come, sister.
Come to us. Come. Come. Do not be afraid.
It is for you I fear.
I fear for me. None is safer in all the world from them than I am.
And in the firelight I see the red scar on her forehead, and then I knew. I fed the fire. The horses lay still on the ground, the snow falling on them softly. No more terror for them. They are all dead. And so we remained till the red of dawn began to fall through the snow gloom, and the horrid figures melted in the swirling mist and snow.
From the Journal of Jonathan Harker, 4th of November.
The accident to the launch has been a terrible thing for us. Otherwise we should have overtaken the boat long ago, and my dear Mina would have been free. Now we have got horses, and we follow on the track.
From the Diary of Dr. Seward, 5th of November.
With the dawn, we saw the Sagani before us with their wagon. They hurried along as though beset. The snow is falling, and far off I hear the howling of wolves. We ride to death of someone. God alone knows who or where or how it may be.
Memorandum by Abraham Van Helsing, 5th of November, afternoon.
When I left Madam Mina sleeping within the holy circle, I took my way to the castle. I knew that there were at least 3 graves to find, graves that are in habit. So I search and search, and find one of them. She lay in her vampire sleep, so full of life and voluptuousness. Oh, the beauty and fascination of the wanton undead. And man is weak. But I remember the voice of my dear Madam Mina, and I braced myself again to my horrid task. I find the 2 more of the sisters. Oh, so beautiful, make my head whirl. There was one great tomb, more lordly than all the rest. Huge it was, and nobly proportioned. On it was but one word, Dracula. This, then, was the undead home of the king vampire. It was empty, so I laid there in the tomb some of the wafer and banished him from it undead forever. Then, to restore the 3 women to their dead selves, oh, it was butcher work. But, God be thanked, my nerve did stand. Had I not seen the repose in the first phase, and the gladness that stole over it just ere the final dissolution came, as realization that the soul had been won, I could not have gone further with my butchery. I could not have endured the horrid screeching as the stake drove home, the plunging of writhing form and lips of bloody foam. I should have fled in terror and left my work undone. But it is over. For hardly had my knife severed the head of each before the whole body began to melt away and crumble into native dust. Before I left the castle, I so fixed its entrances that never more can the Count enter there undead. Then to dear Madam Mina, who woke from her safe sleep in the circle.
Come away from this awful place. Let us go to meet my husband and our friends who I know are coming.
This way, here we shall be in shelter. Madam Mina, look! There in the east, the wagon. And see, the great chest is on it. They are racing for the sunset. We may be too late.
No! There are Quincy and John, following fast. And on the other side, Jonathan and Arthur. See, take the field glasses.
Now they have caught them, and the gypsies have stopped. Quick, let us go to them. The sun is almost setting.
Make way! Let us through! Stand back! No, you do not pass. Rather, you die.
Jonathan, quickly, the box. Open it.
There he is. Count Dracula. Just like a waxen image.
Now use your knives. Now! The sun is almost down. Now, or it is too late.
The body is crumbling. It's turning into dust. It's gone. Gone forever. Thank God.
Look to Quincy. He's hurt bad.
I'm only too happy to have been of service. Oh, God. It was worth us to die. Look. The mark has gone from Mina. Now God be thanked that all has not been in vain. See, the snow is not more stainless than her forehead. The curse has passed away. Ah, thank God.
Amen.
Amen.
And so died a gallant gentleman. Now 7 years have passed since we all went through the flames. It is a joy to Mina and to me that our boy's birthday is the same day as that on which Quincy Morris died. We call him Quincy. In the summer of this year we made a journey to Transylvania and went over the old ground which was and is to us so full of vivid and terrible memories. It was impossible to believe that the things we had seen with our own eyes and heard with our own ears were living truths. Every trace of all that had been was blotted out. The castle stood as before, reared high above a waste of desolation. When we got home, we got to talking of the old time. The happiness of some of us since then is, we think, well worth the pain we endured. Arthur and Jack are both happily married now. I took all the papers from the safe. No one would ever accept them as proofs of so wild a story. Van Helsing summed it all up as he sat with our boy on his knee.
We want no proofs. We ask none to believe us. This boy will someday know what a brave and gallant woman his mother is. Already he knows her sweetness and loving care, and later on he will understand how some men so loved her that they did dare much for her sake.